Jeepers. Perfect. Thank you. Do you want me to say, I mean, this is just another one of the screenshots I took about what happened with Israel ordering the residents and the displaced Palestinians.
Yeah.
Bring me to send it to you?
I will.
Or do you want me just to? Okay.
That's yours.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. Boom. Are we onto the chat line? Are we actually on, Joe? I don't see us on.
Yeah.
Okay.
It says 7, but I don't see.
Okay, if you say so.
YouTube says we're on. Facebook.
Hey, good morning, Heather. Trisha Bindi. Hey, Ben. Yeah, I don't see it coming up on the right side, do you, of your screen? The chat?
I do have the chat, but my chat's not updated. That's what I don't get. The chats, unless it's switched around all the way to the top now.
Okay, now I have mine.
Yeah, I don't have the chat either, Joe. I don't know what is going on today.
Do you have it at all?
Yeah, it was at today it's at the top. I got you.
Got it. Okay.
That's weird. It's normal on my screen.
It is now. Some days it goes from the top down and other days from the bottom up.
Well, usually it goes from top down if it's on the actual feed, but on your screen it should go from the bottom up on the right hand side.
Good question by Heather. Let's see, Heather.
Hey guys, welcome to the show before the show.
Heather, that's a really good question. And you're right. Anything does go with the Democrat Party right now. Gosh, I don't know. Who's to say? I really don't think that. I think that Joe's done. I think he's packing it up and he's getting ready to sail out into the sunset.
Yeah, I would say so.
You know, I think he's come to terms with it. And he's probably, I think he's probably relieved personally.
He doesn't know. He hasn't known a lot for a while.
Mm-hmm.
That's the fact, Jack. Yeah, but the weird thing is yeah, it's like, where do you
Those will
I
go
don't have an opportunity to write in our chat. Is what's weird.
in our private or
No, the public chat on our restream.
So it doesn't say type a message at the
No,
bottom.
I used to have that. Now it's going from the top down, which is weird. It's like it's something.
Good morning,
different.
Donna.
Normally you have a box down here to chat. And there's no.
Did you have my computer from yesterday? Because mine's always goofy like that.
All I did was hit restream, and then there you go.
I might have accidentally got you guys mixed up because I think that one has all the.
Yeah, why don't we do a little switcheroo? Because I'm not going to type on here.
No, I won't type that either. Don't worry. I was
you
just.
sure?
But why is this way? Any idea?
I think that's signed into a guest account.
Okay.
That's signed into an admin.
But we can sign this into an admin as well.
We can.
Okay.
Show before the show. Getting all the kinks out so we can bring you the goods. Susan. Yes, I did hear her barking like a dog, referring to Cori Bush.
She
I
acted
assume.
like a complete animal.
It's just unbelievable, and she wonders why people wanted her out. I don't. It should be no surprise to her. Good morning, Sally.
Thank you for doing that, Vic. I'm sorry I didn't.
Yeah, how dare you?
I know, right?
How dare you?
What did he do now?
My right bicep shoulder is all messed up, but that's all right, Joe. I'll be fine.
Joe, are you going to at least tell us if our hair looks good or not?
No.
Good morning, Trish. Good morning, Paul. Hi, Megan. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, no sunshine. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Roland. Oh, goodness.
We're going to have good. Oh, yeah. I see, Megan. We're going to have some better music playing, by the way, coming up. Part of our, and we got a little announcement later in the show too. As part of that group, we got like actual music that you can buy. That's part of it.
Hey, I actually saved, I'll send it to y'all later, but I saved some good ones last night for a show before the show.
Okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I like it a lot.
You guys are cracking me up this morning with your comments. Heather, Roland, you guys. Trisha, I agree. I do. I think it's sad and funny at the same time.
Vic getting yoked at the gym like he's 25 and hurting himself.
Uh-huh.
Hey, I feel better now than I have. I'm not kidding you. My entire life.
Isn't that great?
Well, it's because I've had some help with some shots,
Mm-hmm.
and then the diet got better.
Yeah.
I just do. I feel better.
Yeah.
I look at pictures. I like the way I look now better, head to toe than then, just because of all those things. I do.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, when we're younger, we're on the move. Like we're running. We're trying to keep up with everything. Young kids, social life.
If
all
you
of
don't
it.
use it, you lose it.
That is the truth.
You got to keep busy.
You have to. Yep, Logan. Bye, girl. She gone.
Your text was funny this morning, but my ex-wife said that to me once, and I used to laugh until she said it, and then I didn't say it anymore after she said it.
What was it? What
Bye,
did I say?
Felicia.
Oh, yeah. She said bye, Felicia, to you.
Yeah, like
Oh,
in a text.
Mm.
Some argument. or
Oh,
some
the
debate.
childish things that we do.
I just went. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What? No, we get along now. It's
Yeah,
all good.
That's good. It's important.
I think.
It's Felicia, it's important for you to get along with your ex-wife. Is that what you were doing? Were you down in
Logan's
the
being
football,
funny.
Were you down in the football field without a shirt?
Well, no. What I would do is,
What I would do
Logan says, I loved watching you throw the football around
Mhm.
with Graham shirtless.
Mhm.
How you doing? Laugh.
Well,
I was neighbors with Logan,
Mhm.
so I'd just be out in my own yard throwing the football around with my son.
and then Logan, were you there peeking through the
Yeah,
curtains like
yeah, he's
this?
peeking through the curtains.
Ooh, Vic's outside throwing the football. It kind of sounds
A
like
trainer
that.
that's all buffed up too, doing
Mhm.
that. Anyway, yeah, I do. I feel good. I feel really good. What is that emoji, Megan? What is that?
She's thinking. She's like, Meg, what are you thinking
Mhm.
about?
Yeah, baby.
Oh, probably with you being outside.
Oh, I didn't. Or the bye, Felicia.
Oh, yeah, the bye, Felicia.
Mm.
hmm
Oh no, I know what that is. That's after seeing Logan's comment.
Oh, about being outside without
Yeah.
a shirt. hmm
Oh no, it was the ex.
Oh, okay.
Bye, Felicia. That's right.
Oh,
She can do her
goodness.
show. I got my own show. I can spill all the beans now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what we're here for, is to speak the truth and to tell the truth, and we're getting it. We're getting it all this morning.
No.
So if anybody else has
no,
any
she's
been spying on Vic, let us know. Shirtless, with a shirt, mowing the lawn, whatever.
yeah, baby. Yeah. We're looking for partners.
I feel some AI videos coming in my email real
stop
soon.
it. Okay, let's go ahead and rock and roll the show.
Let's do it.
Hey guys, welcome to cancelthisshow.com. Vic Faust, Megan Marie Moret. We're glad you're here with us today. We've been here Monday through Friday for over a year and a half now. I think it is. Lots to get to today. The elections happening yesterday, local. Were you surprised? Did your people win? We'll get into all of that. Harris-Waltz is now official, and I can't imagine a more annoying, sarcastic vice presidential pick who needs an ass whooping than this Waltz guy. Oh, he's just bad. We got that to get into. More on the assassination plot with Donald Trump that we find out more now. Oh yeah, goes right back to Iran. We've been talking about it for some time. We'll see what happens with that. Also, Cori Bush, she got her ass beat. She got beat pretty good by Wesley Bell. Now, Wesley is a hardcore liberal Democrat, promoting himself that way. But even Wesley, who I know personally, my Mizzou man, is way better than Cori Bush. And then Cori just lost it
Yeah,
She went dog. She went dog, actually barking
Mm-hmm.
in her press conference. I welcome to St. Louis.
Oh my gosh.
The notorious politicians that come from the city of St. Louis that make national headlines within the Democratic Party never ceases to amaze me.
Yeah.
Okay. House report also talking about Biden and Harris releasing not 1, not 2, not 10, not 20, not 50, not 75, but 100 illegal aliens on the terror watch list that were in our custody released into America. That's probably the most concerning story of the day to me.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get to that. Plus anything else you guys send us. Obviously, lots going on this morning too, as it continues to happen. Also, though, as we get started, we'll make this announcement coming up a little bit later as well. But next week, and you guys are such great viewers and listeners. You may not be happy, but it's going to be a good thing. Next week, we're going to go to 3 shows a week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, for an hour each from 9 to 10 o'clock. Now, why are you doing this? This is a good thing. When it comes to the algorithms, when it comes to putting out content, when it comes to getting it seen by as many people as possible, when it comes to the editing, the research, the hyper focus on a show where you get more people to watch, all the research is saying 2 hours is too long. We're hearing it. Unless you have a show like Joe Rogan and you're being sponsored by multi-million-dollar companies, and we're not there right now. However, what we do will be fantastic, and you'll see our content every single day of the week on all the social media platforms, ramped up and working with a national company that really wants to be a part of what we're doing. That's the good part about this. So we're going to be here. Our stuff is going to be online in reels and short content every day on all of the sites, including a new presence on TikTok and a hyper focused on YouTube as well. And of course, we're not giving up with X because X has been getting huge. We're, over 200 live viewers every day on X right now too. So what we're doing is we're going to do this the right way. Trish just says because of the election coming up, and it is all we can continue to do what we're doing and everything's fine, but we want to grow. And Kelly Mano, our good friend Kelly, she's blowing up all over the place. She was the first person who said, you guys are doing too much content. You guys are overloading the system. You're overloading the algorithm. She's like, you guys are kicking ass. You got an amazing show, but you need to tweak this and that. And we're like, oh, so we started studying Kelly's show. We've been doing this for a couple months. And we're like, you know what? Now we'll probably do that. And guess what? If by chance it didn't work, we'll go right back into doing exactly what we're doing when it comes to every single day for 2 hours, because there's nothing better than educating people, especially, dumbass Democrats, on the realities of life for 2 hours instead of 1 hour. Joe is not happy. Joe's like, I love doing it. So Joe is on the record, and I love Joe because
we do too. I mean, it is like, Heather, you just said, like, what am I going to do every morning from 8 to 10? And you're right. Like, it's become a part of my life. Like, even before, I was on here all the time.
We just want to try it for 2 months.
Yeah.
And see where it goes.
But the thing is that, anywhere you look at the research, it shows that 20 to 30 minutes is the time allotted for captivating an audience. And then after 30 minutes, people just kind of start to fall off, maybe get a little bit bored and things like that. So we don't want that to happen. We know that doesn't happen with the people that we talk to on the chat line every day, but we just want to make sure that we're engaging the audience. And then the content that we do have in that hour is fantastic and can keep everybody up and awake and send you off to have a great day.
It's all about reaching as many people as possible. And when I heard for the third time, you guys are overdoing it, you're producing too much content, I was like, okay, it's time to take a look at this and see how we can make this all work. So we're going to try it and we'll go from there. Joe, you popped yourself up?
Yeah, it's going to be weird being able to sleep in a couple days a week,
Who says you're sleeping in? We got a lot going on. See, what people don't know is we've got a lot of other things going on here at the studio as well. Besides the show, we got a lot of taping.
Yeah.
We're doing media group. Dr. Eric Naputi is kicking ass in our studio right now.
That show.
The show has been released as well. Pep Talk. If you haven't seen Dr. Naputi, check him out. He's blowing up worldwide, by the way, with the nutraceutical company that he has. He's renting the studio a ton. We have more people coming in. Megan's doing her shows. So we'll continue to talk about this. We'll continue the updates. And we may try the hour tomorrow and Friday from 9 to 10 o'clock just to give you an idea of some of the things that are happening right now. But the good thing about this is it's a positive thing. This is positive.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And, we're going to be sure to make sure that all of the important things that are happening nationally around the world and locally, we'll make sure that we are getting those points to you.
And if anybody has a problem, we'll get Kelly Mano in on Friday and you can rip her.
That's right. That's all her
She's the one that first said, Vic,
mm-hmm.
you guys are overdoing it. She's like, you've got to get more into the market. You've got to up it in marketing. She's like, you guys have a national brand, kick-ass product that people would want, even network-wise. She's like, you've got to be able to get it out there and promote it and get companies working with you, execute, making sure every little piece is fine-tuned. We're not just trying to be a, quote, radio show, like a local radio show in St. Louis. We want to hype this up. We're taking it to the top brand, and that's why what we've done, anybody and everybody that's ever worked on this show. And Eric's on board too, by the way.
Yeah.
Eric Johnson.
Definitely.
I talked to Eric about it. He's like, yep. And Eric is a super marketer as well. So,
well, and Kelly actually said to only do it one day a week. And we were like, we can't do that.
And the national company said 2 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, no, there's no way in hell.
And Joe was melting. He was like, over there sweating. Like, no, you can't do this to me.
Ben, it's not more time to spend at Winty's because we can't go there in the mornings. Logan says, Pat McAfee does 4 hours a day of sports. Yeah, he does. And that's a monster show. And they're supported by tons and tons and tons of money. When you have a national flamethrower like ESPN, you can do that.
Mm-hmm. Well, and when you're talking about sports, it doesn't have to be that kind of news doesn't have to be current on the dime. So when you're trying to do current news and not just interviews or talking about something that has already happened, it takes a lot, because you want to make sure that all of the information is accurate. And as we all know, there's a zillion different places to get your information, and you want to make sure that it's correct and factual and truthful. And that takes a minute.
And if you think our shows are good and fast moving now, just wait until you see.
Yeah.
We'll go from there. Kelly has a different audience base. Yes, she does. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Hers is comedy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we are shorter show Monday, but and here's the thing, might be bad. Everybody has an opinion. Like I said, we're going to try it. We've done the same thing for a year and a half, and we continue to rock and roll. Our ratings are really strong. We've been the number one most downloaded news talk show in the St. Louis metropolitan area. That hasn't changed. That's a big deal, and it's a good deal. And it's because of the product. It's what we do every day. And we're grateful for that standpoint. And don't be surprised if you see some collaborations coming as well with Dr. Naputi. And some other people that could be coming in from the shows as well. So anyway, we're grateful for that, letting you guys know. Tomorrow we'll come in at 9 o'clock. We'll come in at 9, and we are grateful for you guys being here with us.
Yeah, so grateful.
This is canceltheshow.com. Vic Faust, Megan Marie Moret, Pro Joe in the house as well. It was election day yesterday. If you voted, congrats to you. If you didn't, there is an election coming up in November. Did your guys win? We are a national show. We're a local show. We're a statewide show. It is interesting because Cori Bush has national headlines. She has made national headlines. She was part of the squad. She now becomes number 2, X'd off the squad list. You know why? Because their progressive leanings, their progressive policies don't work. And it's not what America wants. Cori Bush was pretty much crushed by Wesley Bell when you consider how many people voted and the percentages. So once again, congratulations to Wesley Bell defeating. He will represent the 1st District in DC. Cori Bush is no longer. Cori Bush is gone. Thank God. I'm sorry, Cori, not trying to be mean, but the way you spoke about women, the way you spoke about the city, the way you promoted division between white and black, the way you didn't want state help when it came to certain policing matters was not good. It was wrong. It was absolutely terrible for St. Louis. You are an embarrassment as a politician. That doesn't mean we don't like you as a person. Go and do something positive. Be a positive influence if you truly care about serving. And another issue with Cori is once she went to Washington, we didn't see her around St. Louis. She was in Washington all the time because that's what can happen. So
Mhm.
she gone.
She gone. And
Wesley, congrats.
and it was a local, a local vote, but I would say everyone knows who Cori Bush is. She has made a name for herself, being one of the squad members and being very outspoken on several issues, being pro-Palestine, anti-Israel. And one of the things that she said during her commencement speech, if you want to call it that, or her when she conceded, I should say, she said that, this is hurting my people. I've always been for the people. But she's made it very clear that her people is only a certain group of people. She has caused the division. Everyone that doesn't agree with what she says is not her people. And so I think that that's what hurt her. I think that people are waking up. They're knowing and hearing what is really going on and what her agenda is, and they're sick and tired of it. And these are people within the community. I've been online doing on a live stream where they're doing chats and they're leaving comments whenever she's been on. She did a couple interviews last week, and then after this happened, and people have been frustrated. This is people within her own community, realizing, what she's done, and wanting to know where money is going, wanting to know why she pays her husband as a security guard when he's not a security guard. I mean, it goes on and on. So, we'll show the clip at some point so you guys can see how she reacts. And she is very unprofessional, and she acts like this in Congress as well. She has no self-control. And this is who's been representing us.
Well, Bowman was defeated in an election earlier this year. Now Cori Bush is out. AOC is still surviving. Rashida Tlaib is still there, but she's gone. So here's her speech, and it's just embarrassing. I mean, just have some dignity, have some class. Guess what? There's a lot of things that happen in life where they don't go our way. Like I said, sometimes you're the hammer, sometimes you're the nail. If things don't go well for you, and if things don't work out the way you want, it's all right, and it's always better. And we all know this. I don't care if it's a personal situation or professional situation. Bow out gracefully, have some class, go, okay, I gave it my all. I wish you the best. And just stage left, and then go find something else. If you're a Christian, you trust God. If you're not, go and trust yourself, but don't do Cori Bush.
Yeah.
So this is the deal. First of all, I love you more. But this is the thing. Pulling me away from my position as Congresswoman. All you did was take some of the strings off. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. Let's be clear.
Oh my
Let's
God.
be clear. Let's be clear. Let's be
You've
clear.
lost your effing mind.
Let's talk about what it really is.
What? What?
Because see, now I don't have to worry about some strings that I have attached, and as much as I love my job. But all they did was radicalize me, and so now they need to be afraid. See, now they about to see this other Cori, this other side, because let me say this. I just grew up a whole lot more over the last few weeks. just grew up a whole different way. And so what they are about to get, they think. So the thing is this. The thing is this. I don't think that anything, there is nothing that happens in my life that happens in vain. So if this happened, it's because it was meant to happen. And let me say, it's because of the work that I need to do. And let me say this. APAC, I'm coming to tear your kingdom down. And let me put all of these corporations on notice. I'm coming after you too. But I'm not coming by myself. I'm coming with all the people that's in here that's doing the work.
Yep.
You notice they don't chant USA, USA, USA at these rallies?
No.
Or at these things?
No, absolutely not.
What you didn't want to do was allow me to get radicalized even more, because this is the thing. I ain't scared. I don't fear you. I don't fear you. But my
Okay.
issue
Have we
is-
heard enough of her?
What my issue is my people not.
Or do we have to keep her? Can we fast forward? Does she bark in this too?
Yeah, she does.
Can we fast forward and watch her bark?
No idea where that's at. And
I'll
it's like
find-
a
I'll find the
19-minute
bark.
video.
I thought the bark is at the end.
Yeah. Well, and towards the end, she gets very calm. I don't know if someone whispered her
She's
in her
manic.
ear.
It's their classic case of being manic.
I mean, a complete 360 at the end. I mean, she almost
Was this after her barking?
goes into a trance.
Well, yeah, you go through all the stages. I've been through grief, acceptance.
You should probably
craziness.
get a lot of those emotions out before you do a public speech about it. The thing that I really disagree with here is that she says that the reason that she didn't win is because and you'll hear her say they
Apex. She's
so
talking.
many times, right?
Well, she's talking about the white man.
Mhm.
She's talking about APEC gave a ton of money to Wesley Bell. Corporations gave a ton of money. You know why they gave that money to Wesley Bell? Let me let you in on this, Cori. Because you effed up your area. You didn't help it. You made it worse. Do you think people felt safe and comfortable coming into your district with businesses or families? Hell no. That's why the money went to Wesley Bell. If you would have done that and not acted like the chat line says ghetto queen, things would have been different. They could have been different. Hey, sometimes we screw up chances that we're given. All right, move on, get better. But Wesley represents, whether you like him or not, an opportunity to at least try to do things different. There's people who trust him. And guess what? He believes in trying to police a little bit more than you do. Those are issues. It's not personal. It's not the color of your skin. It's not because you're acting like, well, maybe it is because you're acting like a ravaged dog. Oh,
well, and she's acting like it's a bad thing that Wesley Bell was able to get the support that he got, and that just because she only got 2 million, when she came in and dethroned a 52-year family giant, she likes to brag about the fact that she doesn't get donor support and Wesley Bell did, and that should show that it's not fair. Well, people are going to give the person that they want to support the financial money to go where they need to go. And in this case, I mean, you're hurt about it, but you're pointing fingers in the wrong direction. And for her to say that they radicalized her, we have been following this girl for several years, and the only person that radicalized her is herself. She has made it known to go above and beyond, to be outspoken, and to be on the left of left. Most of what she has said in Congress has made zero sense to me. I mean, she'll get up on topics and try to find the worst of the worst and try to demean anyone that she's speaking to. And she really has zero respect for anyone and zero class while she's doing it. So it's solely her own fault for being radical, because she is radical. I mean, look at her.
And she's gone. And now Cori's gone.
Mhm.
And then like threatening to come after people. I mean, that's straight hood stuff right there.
Yeah,
I mean,
is.
that's who she is. And the best part about it is she's gone. So we give her the moment or 15 minutes and then she's gone.
Yeah.
And Wesley Bell, you're on the clock. You wanted this job. There you go. Change that district, because it is not a good one. But what the other part of this, which I think is a national story as well, is there are people in inner cities who get looked over or have gotten looked over by people in the past as just saying, oh, they're just part of what's always been. No, Megan is in some of the roughest, toughest neighborhoods every week, working with kids, as you know, as part of the trying to stop sex trafficking and taking care of kids. She meets people that want a future. They want some sort of hope, not the Cori Bush bullshit that you got, not the same racist politician stuff that we got, not the stuff that those pastors in church on Sunday were telling, because they were having their pockets lined by certain politicians to tell people how to vote.
Yeah.
Right, Megan?
Exactly.
This tells me that, okay, some people actually got out and voted for a better future and not just the same, oh, the white man hates us.
Well, and again, she just keeps talking about her people and everything that she's trying to do for her people. Yet, if you take a drive through her district, it's as if no one is rooting for her people and trying to create change for her people. I think that her agenda is to be on this pulpit that she chooses to be on when she yells and she screams and she, talks down to everyone, and there's no action. And they want to know where the money is. They want to know where the money that's supposed to be in her district, in the community, where it's going, because clearly it is not there. I mean, it's just not. So hopefully, Wesley Bell will get in there and, he'll be able to gain the respect of the people that thought that Cori Bush was doing an amazing job, and he can get in there and start, creating change. And you know what? It's not going to be an easy job. He's got a lot of work to do.
Good luck, Wesley.
Mhm.
But what I've been told is there are a lot of big money people who are behind Wesley. And that's what's going to help, is the fact that you got some people that are willing to invest some money. You have to have money to start anything that's good there. And you have to have some policing, as we said. And Glenn says, goodbye, St. Louis reparations. Also, Ben brings up another point. Don't forget that Cori Bush was all about the pro-Palestinian movement, all about pro-Hamas, pro-Hezbollah, and whether she wanted to admit it publicly or not, 100% against Jews. And I don't care. You're entitled to be on whatever side you want, but speak with some facts and try to speak with a little class. And this woman just came marching right after October 7th. We shouldn't support Israel, literally right after October 7th.
Yeah.
I have to think that hurt her in some capacity. I do.
I would hope so. And I would hope that Kamala Harris, when it comes to voting day, I hope that hurts her as well, because she has been very outspoken for being pro-Palestine and, ceasefire deals. So, hopefully people will, be impressed on that as well when it comes to voting. To be a political figure and to not acknowledge both sides, both victims, to take a side so quickly and so vocally, I'm talking about the pro-Palestine business. I mean, she knows what's going on. She understands that Hamas went in and did what they did to Israel on October 7th. She knows the stories of what happened to those innocent Israeli people. And so for her to so quickly take a side and to judge, like many people did, I mean, we have to remember what happened in the spring, with all of the protests. I think it's irresponsible to not acknowledge both sides when you're talking about true victims. And now, it's growing into a bigger situation. It's growing into a war. And we'll just have to see if these people continue to only side with one group of people, because what they claim is that they want peace and they want to keep, the numbers of death down, and, and people that are hungry. Well, it's happening in more places than Palestine. So,
Well, that was one of the situations that was taken care of from a vote standpoint. Andrew Bailey, who's making national news with all of the lawsuits, and Google, we were talking about yesterday, he won decisively over Will Scharf. Love Will Scharf. We had Andrew Bailey joins us on the show almost monthly. Will Scharf was joining us. Will Scharf did a fantastic job with President Trump. Our former President Trump talked about what a great lawyer Will Scharf is. It just wasn't his time.
yeah.
And I've been saying that. I love him. I love Carter as political director. It just wasn't his time. The same thing with Ron DeSantis. It wasn't his time to go. So Andrew Bailey, decisively wins. He's not going to stay in Missouri. I love him. Eric Schmidt didn't stay. Who knows where he's going to go, but my God, what a badass. And not only for the state of Missouri, but across the country. Andrew Bailey is involved in a lot of lawsuits. He's involved in New York with the catastrophe that took place against Donald Trump with Judge Merchan. He's suing Google right now. And if you talk to people who work in his office in the state of Missouri, they are kicking ass with cases right now. So congrats to those people who were going. That was Kehoe, Joe. Wesley Bell won St. Louis. So what you've got is all of these people doing what they're trying to do. So, hey, it happened. Andrew Bailey, congrats. Josh,
and he's, Bailey, he's doing things. I feel like every week we turn around, he is doing something big. He's going after somebody. He's trying to take somebody down that's, doing something that's completely wrong. So, he's not only just talking about what he wants to do and what he's doing, he's actually doing it. He's walking the walk. So I think that's incredible. But like you said, Will Scharf, great guy. And it was definitely a toss up. That's for sure.
When it came to the governor, maybe not national names like the other races were, but Mike Kehoe is going to be your next governor in the state of Missouri. So you went out to one of his events recently. You signed the bus.
I did. Yeah. We had a good time. Great guy. His wife is a really nice, sweet woman. It's funny because I think I told you he's got this, he's from North County. And so he's got that St. Louis accent to a T. Like, I was just like, this is just a good old St. Louis guy, and really, really, really cares about St. Louis and wants to see big changes happen. So yeah, it was fun.
But other interesting things that happened, Denny Hoskins won Secretary of State. Valentina Gomez, we showed some of her commercials on here. I saw Logan bring up her name. She was running ads, when you can be anything in life, don't be gay, don't be weak. If you're a Republican in the state of Missouri and you get a flamethrower or a machine gun, I guess that means you can do a commercial.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired of the guns. I get it.
Yeah.
I'm an A2 guy. I am, but I got tired of the same ads over and over, blowing up everything with guns. Okay. I get it. You're a conservative like me. I love it.
Yeah. Well,
but she was doing that. So she finished second to last, by the way.
I saw that.
For Missouri Secretary of State. Some people loved it. I didn't. But where it also worked was for governor. Mike Kehoe dominated. Jay Ashcroft, nowhere to be found. Third.
Yeah.
So credit. We expected, at least we did privately here, we expected Mike Kehoe to win. We talked about it.
Yeah. And I think a lot of listeners expected Bill Eigel to not have done as well as he did.
He crushed it. Bill Eigel
really
crushed
did.
it in a short amount of time. And it shocked me. We've talked about Bill Eigel, like him. But the thing about Bill is there's absolutely no doubt in my mind, his commercials were a huge factor.
I agree. They were brilliant. The
commercials that we show with a Hispanic interpreter, we're going to put you in jail. Ay caramba.
That was great. Well, and it really, it left a mark. So you remember seeing it, you remember the name, and even if you don't know a whole lot about each of the candidates, you're going to remember that name, and then you can, choose to look and see what he represents, see what he wants to do for change, and you can make, a vote based on that. So he did what he should have done, and it was awesome. And I think that's why he did as well as he did. Bill Eigel.
Bill Eigel is why Jay Ashcroft is not the winner in the primary. Bill Eigel entered that race. If Bill Eigel is not in that race, I think Ashcroft wins because he took Ashcroft crowd away. And I didn't see much with Ashcroft in the final 2 months.
I didn't either.
It's like he disappeared. And then we saw Bill Eigel all of a sudden ramp up his game.
Yeah.
And then he took away and he finished in a solid second place.
Yes, he did.
And then Mike Kehoe's your guy. Mike Kehoe backed by Mike Parson. Mike Kehoe is St. Louis guy, North County guy, car guy. We've had him on the show several times. So Mike Kehoe is going to win and he'll be taking on Crystal McQuaid, who won on the Democratic side. So congrats to Bill Eigel, man. He did well.
Yeah.
Big win for him. That is for sure. Whether people, once again, I don't think there was a lot that separated the three, but in the end, it's Mike Kehoe who is going to be doing that.
Yep. Yeah. It was great to see that, again, there was so many great candidates just all the way around. So you really had to do your research so that you could make your best.
Trump endorsed all three candidates, by the way.
Yeah.
He endorsed Eigel, he endorsed Kehoe, and he endorsed Ashcroft. I hated that. But so super congrats once again to Mike Kehoe and everybody else who won. And finally, our advertiser, David Gregory. You all know who David is. He comes on here and we'll promote him coming up at, no, there it is right there, the conservative injury lawyer, conservativeinjurylawyer.com, 314-619-4230. If anything has happened to you from a accident standpoint, a workers' comp situation, maybe your religious freedom or your conservative freedom has been infringed upon, Dave's a guy. I used him twice when I was hit by cars. You're not going to find a better guy. And when you tell him about cancel this or bring it up, he's going to give you an extra percentage of money back that his firm normally gets. Check him out. Dave was a former state rep for Sunset Hills. He ran for state senate and he won. So congratulations. Dave came on the show and joined us yesterday. And he wanted me to say thank you to everybody who voted for him. He said that there was no doubt in his mind that this show helped him with people throughout West County, which is his district. And he said, even if you didn't live in West County, thank you for letting everybody else know what he did. He was trying to get some rest this morning, but he kind of knew last night about 9:30. So Dave had some name recognition at the state level, but not necessarily in West County. He was in Sunset Hills. But he beat Mark Harder, who was St. Louis County. And I like Mark. He was St. Louis County council member who had name recognition. And then I can't remember the guy's name, but the mayor of Baldwin, who already had some people there placed because they knew him. So Dave won. Dave is now, so Dave, we want it more, but Dave now holds the only state Senate seat as a conservative out of 4 that represent St. Louis County. Can you believe that? St. Louis County represented, and maybe times are changing, 4 seats, only 1 held by a conservative.
Yeah.
But Dave sued Sam Page, and I think it helped. Sam Page had not 1, but 2 of his friends in St. Louis County that got defeated last night. Maybe St. Louis County is changing. Maybe it's realizing, oh shit, this liberal way that we have done for so long is not good to be the business cognitive wheel that we have to be throughout the state of Missouri. I don't know. We'll see. Donna says, are you both wearing black for the demise of Cori Bush?
Sure we are.
Sure.
Yeah. Super not sad to say goodbye.
It's time St. Louis County goes red. Yeah, Jeannie, we agree. And if for no other reason, a business standpoint, Mark Mantovani should have won that position the 2 or 3 times that he ran for it. He was a Democrat with a super smart conservative mind, a man who became a millionaire in business, self-made, but St. Louis County, oh, we're going to Sam Page, COVID. Oh my God, North County. It was like, my God, people were so stupid. Mantovani would have had St. Louis rocking and rolling from a business standpoint. I pray someday St. Louis County gets somebody like Mark Mantovani. I don't know if they're going to get as good of a business brain as that guy, but he wanted the job. He tried and he got voted out multiple times.
Yeah. last night I was driving my son to a friend's house, and we were driving through, we were kind of not trying to take the highway or any of the busy roads. So we were doing a lot of, back road driving through St. Louis County. And the both of us could not believe all of the Harris flags on people's fence posts and all of the pride flags that were everywhere.
Let me get, what can I guess? Were you in West County?
West County.
Oh,
Now, where I live, which is in West County, it's just a different part. It's like conservative valley. I mean, there's David Gregory signs everywhere, Justin Sparks. I mean, there's just conservative signs everywhere. But as soon as you get out of this little pocket, we were driving and my son asked me, he's like, are all of these people, voting Democrat? And I was like, well, apparently so. But I could not believe how blue some of these neighborhoods were. I was truly, truly shocked. But what I was, trying to kind of say is that we always talk about the flag being, the American flag being the conservative show of patriotism. And there were 0 American flags out next to the Harris signs, but there was lots of different kinds of flags. And that's what my young son noticed. So, people, they're watching. They know.
Roland says Kirkwood. I was getting ready to say Webster, Kirkwood.
I said that. And I was like, hey, if you think this is bad, wait till you roll into Kirkwood, Webster, Glendale.
I thought BLM was over.
No.
And they still have BLM signs over there.
And they're
and BLM doesn't support Kamala Harris.
No, I know. How ironic is that? Yeah, and those BLM signs, I mean, they've been through storms. You can barely even see what it says on them anymore, but they are not taking them down.
Glendale may be bad, but that is the home of Eric Schmidt. So it may be going that way, but we still have Eric Schmidt, all 6'6" of him, standing in his MAGA hat.
Yeah.
In Glendale.
Hey, there's some good Glendale folks. My brother's one of them. And there's good folks everywhere. And they could all be great folks. We just need to educate them on the way that they vote. That's all.
Greg, yes, I would consider that for Mike Kehoe in a heartbeat. But that press secretary job is a nasty job.
Yes.
That is we'd have to figure out something. I'd prefer to do a weekly show. We'll take over all of his media for him from a TV standpoint.
Yeah.
We could do it well. Here, from a judge standpoint, just because people who were in the show, Matthew Thornhill, Judge Thornhill, who we had on the show, did win. And we had Robert Cornejo last week who came in. Love Robert too. But Thornhill did very well. So
yeah, he sure did.
Congratulations to them. We tried to get as many people in as we possibly could. And we look forward to the next election, just trying to make sure that we get truth out there, because it's always about facts, not feelings first.
Hey, and I'm curious, did you guys have to wait in line? Were your polling places, were they busy?
No.
Mine was not either.
No.
And of course, I have to ask and talk to everyone wherever I go. So I'm asking the women that are checking me in, if it's been busy. And one lady wanted to tell me the truth. And she was like, and then the other lady's like, oh yeah, it's been steady. It's been really great. And I'm like, really? I'm like, well, because the last vote that we had, only 35% of the residents showed up to cast a vote. And so I was like, gosh, I just walked out of there and was like, I surely wish that more people, cared enough to vote. But yeah, I'm just curious, what it was like for everyone.
Danny says, longtime listener, first time commenter, keep up the good work. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Only 25% turnout, Glenn says.
Yeah.
Once again, just it's all about, hey, have your message. Stop with the damn flamethrowers, please, in the state of Missouri. We don't need the grenades. You don't need to tell somebody they're weak because they're gay. It's fine. I get it.
Yeah.
But those candidates did not win. They did not win. You can be conservative. You can talk about our conservative values without going over the top.
Gosh.
But anyway.
Did you see Mindy just said that she was number 98 at 1:00 in the afternoon? I think you said Darden Prairie. That is just shocking. So only 98 people at 1:00 in the afternoon. Shocking.
And low morale. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But I can tell you this much. Come November 2024, if we have an election, I think it'll be the highest one we've ever seen. I really do.
too.
Especially after some of the stuff that we see now. We see what the media is doing with Harris and then now with Waltz. And I'm like, my God, you've got to be kidding me with what's going on when it comes to the election, because now we're starting to see some of the things that are going on. Yesterday, Harris, Cammie, had out Tim Waltz. And I'm sorry, this guy's a jackass. He is. But
Yeah.
I've never been one that gets all excited. You guys know this, and you've gotten on me about it. I could care less about the VP pick. And I know at some point you have to, because if something were to happen to the president, we saw what they tried to do to Trump, which was legit, which the FBI did admit, Democrats, for the 33% of you who think it was fake. The FBI said, yes, it was real. It was very real. Okay. So if something like that could occur, it could happen that close, where an act of God, where Donald Trump happens to turn his head and the bullet hits his ear instead of his skull, you have to worry about your VP pick. Okay, I get it. But Kamala, who, by the way, still hasn't done a presser in over 2 weeks, answering legitimate questions about what she has done as vice president, what her policy is, because guess what? The Democrats and the deep state and the cabal that even the Democrats are talking about that are running the White House and her campaign, they're going to do the same thing they did with Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Watch. She's not going to talk. They're going to keep her on the side. She'll say the same lines. And like Megan said last week or 2 weeks ago, she now sounds exactly like Barack Obama.
Yeah.
The exact pacing. It's the same presence. It's how she says the words. Everything. It is Barack Obama. If you put his face on her words or her face on his body, she is trying to be Barack Obama now.
Yeah.
She is saying
Sure
less. She's not laughing, and they're trying to get serious. And of course, you want to put the best person forward. I get it. We all can get better, but the fix is in, the fake is on, and this VP pick,
He is obnoxious.
he is not only is he obnoxious, he's a jackass. He's a
Gosh.
coward. Other old vets are starting to call him out.
Mm-hmm.
And he is the most liberal governor, far more liberal than Gavin Newsom in this country. And that's why he was picked. And by the way, Kamala was a DEI hire, Joe Biden told us, we showed you the sound. So the DEI hire goes out and hires and picks an old white guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There you go. So yeah, where do you really stand with all of this? And did you notice yesterday at her rally, I had mentioned that I thought that they were going to like start zip tying her hands together so that she wouldn't go like this all the time.
What did you see?
And her hands were clutched like this almost the entire time. So while she was behind the podium and the microphone, her hands are like this. She did move them a little bit for, like when she introduced Tim Waltz and she was doing her rah, 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 with her hands. But even when she was standing behind Waltz, when he was talking, she had her hands clutched like this. And she just was, just kind of smiling and wasn't, just her loosey goosey self. So they've definitely had a conversation with her.
Well, yesterday they came out in deep blue Philadelphia for their rollout. And we had a chance to see Tim Waltz. I don't care about VP picks. He's a better speaker than she is, but he's an obnoxious asshole. Mm-hmm. He just is.
Yeah.
And look at his record. How anybody could have ever voted for a governor who made it a law to have tampons in the boys' bathroom so they could feel safe. Mm-hmm. Who voted for illegal aliens in the state of Minnesota to have driver's license. Who backed BLM and allowing them to tear apart Minneapolis. This guy's and he's a liar when it comes to his service. And you're going to hear him talk about service because veterans are accusing him of abandoning the National Guard, taking off from his battalion right before he was going to be deployed to Iraq. That is a 100% factual story that I am telling you. He's a coward. He took off. And that's why he's a Democrat, because all of us know Democrats and most of them are cowards. They just are. They won't sit down and have a conversation with you about policy or facts. It's all about feelings and what they feel. Here's Tim Waltz from yesterday talking. And I can tell you this, though. He loves this. He loves the attention.
Now, Donald Trump sees the world a little differently than us. First of all, he doesn't know the first thing about service. He doesn't have time for it because he's too busy serving himself. Again and again and again, Trump weakens our economy to strengthen his own hand. He mocks our laws. He sows chaos and division. And that's to say nothing of his record as president. He froze in the face of the COVID crisis. He drove our economy into the ground. And make no mistake, violent crime was up under Donald Trump.
Oh, no, it wasn't.
Well, got a point.
And because of the BLM, I'll tell you.
That's not even counting the crimes he committed. You know, some of us are.
Okay, that's enough.
Some of us in here.
You go ahead and address. First of all, he lied about three things. You can address the violent crime, and then I'll go off what you say.
Okay, so violent crime during the riots, or violent crime in general?
In general.
So the violent crime, he's trying to say that under Trump, violent crime went up and was at an all-time high. Here's the situation. We were in the middle of a pandemic. So what happened was a lot of crime. You had people, whether it was people that were just trying to get money to eat because they lost their job, or because people were literally just running crazy because they knew that the police were not out, just looking at the normal things that they normally do, because it was literally a shutdown. So violent criminals took advantage of this situation, and people were literally losing their minds. And it was easy to get away with committing crimes during this time. So that is the only reason that the crime rate went up under Trump. It was bananas. We had protests. We had people that were, losing jobs, hungry, and just out to hurt people because they could. So that's the only reason. And then that also explains what happened during the economy. So they want to make all of these talking points, but not intertwine it with the fact that we had a major worldwide pandemic. And, he's going to say that he didn't do things the way that he should have during the pandemic. And like anyone would say, it was unprecedented. We got hit with it literally overnight. He was trying to do the best that he could and trying to make the best decisions. And, he was, you have to remember, going back to this time, he immediately wanted to stop the travel from China. He did not want people coming in from China or leaving China. Then he was called a xenophobe. Well, then now he's being accused in, instances like this when he didn't do enough. So did he do enough or did he not do enough? Did he do too much or too little? So no matter what he did, he was going to get ridiculed for it. And personally, I think that was one of the smartest decisions that you could have made until you figured out exactly where this virus was coming from. Try to cut it off at the origin of it. So to stop the travel was a wise decision. Then, he tried to get the vaccines in at warp speed. If you guys go back and remember all that, and did he do it too fast? He didn't do it fast enough. So no matter what he did, no matter what decision he made, they're going to try to tear him down for it. But they need to be factual when they're, talking these points about why. It wasn't just because he was president and he wasn't doing anything. He is the leader of law and order. He is pro-police. He is, pro-order. So everything that they've said is exactly what they represent. Every single thing.
It's all right. It's more fake. It's more phony. The Harris-Waltz ticket is an absolute joke. It is the most liberal, progressive, I repeat, the most liberal, progressive ticket in the history of America. I'll say it one more time for you. The most liberal, progressive ticket in the history of this country. And Kamala was not voted. She was selected for this. She didn't win an election to get into this spot.
She never would have won in a primary.
Tim Waltz
never
did not win anything. He was selected. So now you have two people who are the two most, he's the most liberal governor in America. She was the most liberal senator in America in 2019 when she was selected, plucked, and put on the ballot with Biden.
Yeah.
The two, now they haven't had to have, think about this. They haven't had to win a national election, either one of them. But now they have been selected and are on the same ticket. So people follow what's happening. You see how the deep state works. You see how the cabal works, that Tulsi Gabbard, an independent, has talked about, that a Democrat, Bill Maher, has talked about, that Republicans and conservatives all over the country have talked about. Think of what's going on.
Yeah.
As Americans, we get comfortable. We have so many things going ahead. Like, oh yeah, this is by plan. It's by setup. The two most ultra liberal, progressive politicians in the history of this country do not all of a sudden end up on a ticket by chance.
Yeah.
And then we start to think about the election. And you can call me a conspiracy theorist all you want. Too many good things are happening right now for the deep state, for the cabal. They don't want to see Donald Trump. They don't want to see JD Vance. They don't want to see this country return because the possibility to save us is still there.
Yeah. Well,
not under the same leadership or the same kind of people that we have right now.
Yeah.
The most liberal duo in the history. And they're lying back and forth. Tim Waltz, and they'll continue to say the lies. And yesterday, not one thing, and you'll see policy spoken by Donald Trump. You'll hear policy by JD Vance. You don't hear policy by Kamala or Tim Waltz. It's all like trying to get zingers and Kamala saying this and that and little headlines that get Democrats all excited. But they're not thinking. And this is the problem. Here's Tim Waltz again with another lie about JD Vance. And when he talks about this, I'll explain it.
That is if he's willing to get off the couch and show up. So
funny.
You see what I did there?
Yeah, we saw what you did, asshole. You need your ass kicked because you're an evil man, and people know that you're an evil man. And if you ever had the guts or courage to do an interview with us, we would undress you like you have never been undressed in a way on facts and policy, Timmy, little Timmy. He's lying, and I wish JD Vance would sue him because he's trying to say, and he's alleging that there was an allegation that JD Vance had intercourse with a couch.
Yeah.
Which is a lie. It's fictional. It never happened. And of course, Tim Waltz is trying. This is what Democrats do. Because they don't have the brain power to talk policy, they'll stab you in the back because that's the easy thing to do. As your parents taught you in growing up, it's always easier to tear something down than it is to build something up. Yeah. And he lied.
Just dirty. And that's all that they can do.
And then called him weird again.
Yeah,
and
weird.
Republicans are weird. Of course, we'd rather be weird than woke. It's just, and it comes out of the Barack Obama playbook. Accuse others of what you're doing yourself, which goes straight to the Islamist. And when they fight, it goes right to the Taliban. Accuse others of what you're doing yourself. It's all a plan. It's all a game to try to take down America.
Yeah, it sure is. And Tim Waltz, he looks great on paper. You go down.
He does?
Yeah, to me, he does.
What?
Okay.
He lied about his military service and he took off.
Well, but on paper, okay. So I'm not saying that it's all the truth. I'm saying when he fills out his paper, he says who he is, He's a Christian man, which, I could argue about that, until the cows come home, because I don't hear him ever talk about true Christian values. Christian guy, married young, went to school, was in the service, went to college, became a teacher. 3 of the 4 siblings, they all married teachers because that's what they do, quote. Because they're just so great and they don't care about money. They just care about educating our children and doing the right thing. He's, served for the government. Everything that he says about himself is, look at me. Look how honorable I am. Look at everything that I do for everyone else. Talks about, his he has to, get in there that he had 2 of his children, by in vitro. And, he ties that directly in with the whole reproductive freedom and taking away the IVF and doing all of these things. And so you'll hear him try to twist and turn all of these things to try and make it look like it's that we are so anti all of these things, and it's not. And I think Glenn said earlier, just gaslighting. I mean, it is gaslighting, and they're trying to make you think, that he is the guy that's doing all the right things, and the conservatives are, anti this and anti that. But so, like I was saying, everything on paper, you read it and you're like, oh, gosh, football coach. I mean, that, it doesn't get any better than that. Born in Nebraska, yet he lives his life in Minnesota, and he's perfect for that place, because all of these values that he's trying to talk about and trying to make us believe that he has not shown that. He has not lived that.
In one of his interviews, he also removed their state flag and put a flag of Somalia in the background.
He sure did.
And if you haven't been in Minneapolis, it looks like there's Somalians are everywhere, everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it has to deal with their faith and their religion, which is anti-American and what we have done. I'm just telling you it is. I've been there and I experienced it, and it blew my mind. I felt in some cases I was in another country. So here's what Vivek had to say in just a moment about what Republicans need to be careful about. And if there was a better chief of staff pick than Vivek for Donald Trump, I don't know who it is. We'll get to it in a second. I want to do the ads first, Joe. But you have to hear what Vivek's talking about. But first, we want to give a shout out to our advertisers, our sponsors. Complete Auto Body Repair, Curtis Barks and crew do a fantastic job. When it comes to your car, anything, inside, outside, they take care of it, A to Z. They don't nickel dime you. They get you in, they get you out. They also check things that maybe you don't even know about, so you don't have to have a problem coming back in and go, oh, I just took my car and I didn't even realize I was that close to needing this or needing that. So Complete Auto Body, give them a call, 314-731-7999, 314-731-7999, CompleteAB.com, CompleteAB.com, and go to the website. Check out their jobs. So many damn good jobs, and it's a super company. There's a reason why so many people stay at that company and they don't leave. They also own towing companies, so they have a lot of work throughout the state of Missouri. Also, giving a shout out to WeQuipUSA.com, the site that takes care of everything, and I mean everything when it comes to renting items out to people. You can make some cash on the side, and you can also rent other items that you don't want to buy or can't buy at that moment, or just need for a day, 3 days, a week, 2 weeks, something of that nature. Check it out. They back it by insurance. And of course, they also sell spaces as well. Winty's in the Chesterfield Valley. Ben says, come on in. Marla says, come on in. Check out their food if you haven't been there yet. You'll be back. I've never met anybody that goes into the location in Chesterfield or the location in Defiance and doesn't go back. Work hard, play hard. Go in, the best neighborhood bar you're going to find, bar, restaurant. The food is great. We all eat it. We go there multiple times, heck, sometimes multiple times a week. Wenty's in the Chesterfield Valley. And if you're going to grill, you do it with the best charcoal that there is. It's Rockwood Charcoal, 100% Missouri hardwood, rockwoodcharcoal.com. You can get on Amazon, but if you can, find it in all of your stores. You should find it anywhere. Use it. It's backed and owned by Jonathan Heslop, who backs this show and several conservative causes, not only in the St. Louis metropolitan area, but across the state as well. Capriati's Sandwich Shop. It's unlike any other in the St. Louis metropolitan area. It's worth the drive if you're not local. And if you're local, well, there's no reason to go give it a try at least once. It's on Manchester Road in Rock Hill, right in the big shopping center. They roast turkeys all night long, slice and dice them the next day. They have a lot of turkey sandwiches. They also have other just incredible ingredients. Jonathan does it top notch. Their catering is second to none. You should check out their catering. Give them a shot at one time. Their phone number, 9 a.m. or excuse me, their phone number. You can go in there at work hours or 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Hey, you can give them a call if you want to check them out as well. Also, we know the real estate industry has been up and down and all around. You need somebody who's going to be honest with you, not beat you over the head, but it's going to give you some positive impact feelings in regards to, here, this is truth. We're going to be positive about this. We're going to find the right approach, because when you're dealing with real estate in this day and age, it can be up and down and all around. You have to have a steadied approach. That's what Megan Livingstone does. You need to give her a call before making any decisions. Enjoy a no pressure conversation with Megan Livingstone. You can give her a call at 314-249-1708, 314-249-1708, or you can email her at megan.livingstone@exprealty.com. That's megan.livingstone@exprealty.com. And if by chance she can't help you, she's going to make sure you get the help that you need. This is cancelthisshow.com. I'm Vic Faust. Megan Marie Moret, Projo in the house as well. We're grateful that you guys are with us. Once again, when it comes to this whole situation that's going on with Tim Waltz, I'm not, are you putting a lot of emphasis into him?
Okay, I was not at first. And I was like, big deal. Not into, VPs really. And then I kind of heard everyone saying, including Trump, thank you. Thank you for picking him. This is great for Republicans. I have to say, I don't know that I agree with that. He's loud and he's obnoxious.
Yeah, he is.
So
he's a jackass.
Yeah. And so that in itself scares me a little bit, because it seems like he will go to any length to make sure that his voice is being heard, and he doesn't care how he does it. So that makes me a little cautious. So Kamala comes out last night, introduces him, as the VP, and nothing about him was presidential to me or vice presidential to me. It just wasn't. I understand that you're supposed to get up there and, toot your own horn and everything, but just, him, the things that he was saying about, JD, and then about Trump, and then just trying to, put his digs in on the policies that he represents. Nothing was accurate. And so that's what scares me. I realize that it's politics, but, I don't think that he's going to be that guy that, we're not going to hear a lot from. He's going to sit back. I think we're going to hear more from him than we do Kamala.
That's exactly where I was going.
Yes.
He's talking. He can speak. She can't. She's very monitored, and it doesn't look right.
No.
Who's running for president? And if they do that, that is a great thing for the Republicans, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, he's boisterous and he's loud, and I don't like what he has to say. And so that gets me a little
why? Cautious. That's going to win people over?
No, because what we have to remember is that the left only hears the left. Okay.
And then the right only hears the right.
Well, I mean, I'm watching him. I'm watching every word that he's saying.
But you're different.
Yeah. Well, you're different too.
Okay.
But the point that I'm trying to make is that people are now watching. The Democrats are all up in the Kamala thing now. They're all so excited. First woman, first Black woman. It's going to be amazing. And now they've got this loudmouth standing behind her, yapping his brains out, just talking about complete nonsense. And, we have to remember that there are still some independent, undecided voters that actually think for themselves. They have probably been lifelong Democrats, and now they've seen what the Democrat Party has done, all the lying, all the hiding, all of the shams for the last several months, actually the last several years. And they're sitting here going, like, no way this gal, if it would have been a regular primary, no way this gal would be our next nominee. There's just no way.
Yeah, and we've been telling you who he is the last 2 days and showing you some of the things. But I think I agree with what Vivek says. This is what Vivek says. Vivek came out about Tim Waltz and said Republicans should not get caught up in him. He's not the candidate. But you also need to remember who you are as Republicans, which is why Donald Trump has done so well. And Donald Trump hasn't done anything wrong. And then he got shot.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing could be any better for a conservative candidate right now than now, which is why you cannot believe any of the polling when it comes to what's happened. Now, if Kamala would have been popular before she became the nominee for president, I could believe it. But not going from the most unpopular vice president, unfavorable vice president in history of the country, and then adding the most liberal progressive governor in the country, effing no. Trucking no. Hell no, that's not real.
But okay, so if it were any other election besides this one coming up in November, I think Vivek has a really great point.
So then you're saying that the election is rigged.
Well, yeah, I mean, I do. I still do.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be a fair election. I really don't.
Neither do I. That's why I hope it's
what I saw last time.
That's why I'm hoping it's too big to rig.
But to Vivek's point about, this, we should not be paying attention to the vice president. He's not the one that's running.
But
in any other situation, I think now more than ever, the two vice presidential candidates that we have, J.D. Vance, Tim Waltz, I think that people are going to pay more attention to them now more than we ever have in the past.
Whether rightly so or wrongly so.
Exactly.
Because that's what the Democrats will try to do. Here's Vivek talking about why Republicans should not get caught up in this game because they know they don't have a qualified candidate in Kamala.
I tell you that this pick presents risks for Democrats and Republicans. The pick of Waltz as VP presents a risk for Democrats that they lose centrist voters over a lot of his progressive policy positions. The risk I see for Republicans is that he is such a progressive, and he's far on the left of many of his policies, that it becomes tempting to just focus on him instead of offering our own vision of who we are and what we stand for. That's ultimately what's going to be required for us to win this election. Mm-hmm. Seal the border, end rampant crime, grow the economy, stay out of World War III, revive national pride in this country. These are things that Donald Trump stands for. These are the things that the Republican Party stands for. And I think we have to resist the temptation and risk to forget to talk about that because of the ripe criticisms that the other side makes it so easy for us to now level. I tell you that.
Yeah, once again, Vivek puts things better as any politician I've ever seen or heard in my life. He puts things in an order and speaks them in a way they resonate with me more so than anybody. I have been coached how to speak, coached how to listen in local media for over 25 years. I've coached lawyers and doctors on how to speak, and he is by far the best speaker I have ever heard when it comes to taking a lot of information, putting it out so that people can understand it and go, oh my God, that is exactly right, which is why he's way more qualified than anybody else to be chief of staff for Donald Trump if he's president.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure he would not accept that. But my God, if Trump could keep him around, that guy gets it. I agree with everything he said.
Yeah. Oh, I do too. And he makes things sound so simple. He just simplifies it. He puts it in like this perfect bullet point presentation for all to understand, super clear, no gray area. It's black and white. We need to close the border. We need to do these things, X, Y, and Z. Done, period, boom, let's go. But that only makes sense to the conservatives. Everything that he just said does not make any sense to the left.
But that's for everything else, though.
They don't want to hear it. Exactly. So, we're listening to this, but we have to also know that, you've got someone like him that is speaking so clear, he's speaking our language. And then you've got someone, that's, we'll use Tim Waltz for an example, that's loud and boisterous. And he's trying to, talk about his points in policy, and the left are going to think that that's all great too, because it's all in the presentation. I still don't understand how anyone in this country can think that not having safe borders is a positive. I mean, that's just one thing. I mean, the things that Waltz stands for and the things that he has pushed and the legislation that he, has spearheaded, all of it, it's awful, to be quite honest. The things that he stands for, let's take, for instance, making sure, and these are his words, that he wants to make sure that all children get, affirming care for their gender issues at any cost. And if they are not allowed to do that by their parents, then they can be taken from the home, and that the parents can then be, prosecuted for not allowing these children to do that. So, and the way that he words it is that it's the responsible thing to make sure that all children are taken care of and that they are all being acknowledged. Okay.
Sorry, Glenn says, why are Democrats always yelling?
Yeah, no kidding. They are always yelling.
Because, people start to yell when they're wrong, and they don't know what they're going to talk about because they can't rely on what is actually happening and truth. You've been in some arguments and debates with people.
I'm glad you guys are making me laugh.
People who start to yell and scream do that stuff.
They sure do. Because I get so worked up about this guy with his policy and the dumb assery things that he has tried to make.
Dumbassery. I like that.
Yes, that he's tried to make sound good and positive. And instead of doing right by these kids, I will not get on a child tangent again today, I promise. But instead of doing truly right by these kids and trying to figure out what's wrong with them, he just wants everybody to just go along into this disgusting ideology and follow along and let kids make not child decisions. They are very adult decisions, and it's just not right. It's not fair. I think it's disgusting. I think it's irresponsible. And there's just no excuse for it.
The Trump team and their campaign have been absolutely amazing when it comes to the content that they're producing to show you exactly who Kamala Harris is. And it seems like we've had one for 3 straight days now when it comes to what you'll get with Kamala Harris, who she is, what her policies are, what kind of politician she is. Here's the latest ad that the Trump campaign has put together.
Radical. I do believe that we need to get radical.
Radical Kamala raised money for a fund that bailed out violent criminals, that freed murderers and rapists. They even bailed out a domestic abuser. Days later, he murdered a man. And defunding police.
The idea that more police equals more safety, that's just wrong. We have to have this conversation about redirecting resources.
Kamala Harris, dangerously liberal.
I am radical.
Make America Great Again Inc. is responsible for the content of this advertising.
I am radical.
She's so radical.
I was just told by somebody who messaged me privately. Hitler, by the way, was a master giving speeches and inciting the crowd with yelling in his speech.
He sure was.
The same way as the Democrats.
Yes. And propaganda. That's exactly how he got everybody to get in line with.
Evoke emotions in the crowds. Emotional.
Yes.
Get emotional. Don't be educational. Get emotional.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be rational. Get emotional.
Yeah.
Don't look at facts. Get emotional.
Yep.
Play on the feelings. What's the show about? Facts, not feelings. Facts first, then feelings. Democrats are about feelings. Republicans are about facts. And I think it's fair to say that.
Yeah. Yeah, he was. That's a perfect, for instance.
Hearts and minds.
Hearts and minds. Yeah. My heart is racing right now.
Oh, shoot. I don't want that.
When I talk about these.
don't. We don't want to take you there.
Gosh. I mean,
So the Trump team showing you again who she is, what she is. The national media will not show you. They just won't. You're not going to see it there. And many times, that's why we say like, subscribe, share the show, share the parts of the show that you want to with people that need to see it. But once again, if somebody at this stage of the game doesn't see the conservative values, I don't think they're going to before November. Yeah. It's now a matter of, do we get an election? Is the election fair? Are there really that many independents that are going to sway something? I know it comes down to about 5 or 6 counties and 5 or 6 swing states that could determine the quote election, but don't think for a second that this polling is accurate. There's no way in hell that the most ultra progressive liberal ticket in the history of this country is tied or winning any freaking poll with Donald Trump. It's just not there. There's no way. No way, no way, no way. It's not happening. It's not true.
Well, I think that if our economy wasn't as bad as it is, if the history of inflation hasn't been what it is, the fact that we could be on the cusp of a recession, I think that, if that wasn't happening, I could see that. I could see what, the left is going to go with, this liberal progressive, team, and the conservatives are just going to do what they normally do and just go conservative. But, people feel things when they get hit in the pocketbook. And so that's why I'm just holding out, faith that maybe some of these people who realize what has happened, financially to themselves and to the country as a whole, that maybe then they will, and even if they do it, behind closed doors, even if they're going to be one of those closet voters that's like, you know what, I'm going to tell all my friends that I voted for, Kamala Harris, but I'm going to go in because I'm broke as a joke. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to, vote for Trump. So, all of those things are possible, so hopefully those people will come out and vote conservatively.
Well, number one, we got to have the election. Number two, we'll see what happens with it. Just remember, you don't go from being the dumbest, most radical, most unfavorable, most unpopular vice president in the history of the country within 2 weeks to being neck and neck with Donald Trump, who's kicked ass in the campaign. It's impossible. It's fake. That's why it's fake.
Yeah.
Nothing. And here's the other reason we know that the polls are fake. And it's not just believe it or not, it's because there's fact. The Democrats didn't want her.
Yeah.
She was terrible and she's gotten worse.
Yeah. She
got her ass kicked because she was a DEI hire. She was stupid. She's uneducated when it comes to policy. She didn't get one vote to become the nominee. Back when the presidential primaries were going on, she had maybe 2%. She was last place. Tulsi Gabbard abused her, verbally, mentally abused her right on that stage, undressed her, made her look like the fool she is. And then she dropped out because it was such an embarrassment. It was such a mental beatdown that she had to leave. And she left. That's why we know. That's why we know it's fake, because it's anything and everything to keep Trump out of office. Yeah. The deep state, the cabal, they can't have Trump in because America can turn around. As he said, fight, fight, fight. That's the last thing the cabal wants. They tried to take his life. That was no joke. It was no accident. It was no chance thing happening because they know what happens. And going after Donald Trump's life should show everybody that they will do anything, lie, cheat, steal, to keep that man and to keep patriots like all of us from having a president that's truly going to turn the ship around. And our country's like a ship. It takes a while to turn.
Yes, it does.
But you have to start the turn to get us going in the right direction, because if you don't, we continue to go for that cliff that we're falling off of. And without Donald Trump, there is nobody else that's going to do that. And they'll lie, they'll cheat, they'll steal, they'll get the emotions all riled up because they don't have to worry about people thinking logically if they're already on their side from a Democratic standpoint. You've got to turn the ship. Yep. And they'll do anything. Yes, they will lie. The polls are not true. They're not, because because she doesn't bring anything. I heard somebody say, oh, she's got energy. She's not bringing the energy. It's the media. The media is what started to tell you, oh yeah, believe her. And then we have all the sheeple in America. Oh yeah, let's run over there. Where's the tree? Oh, we'll go to the tree.
Well,
those are Democrats.
Well, you know what they're calling it?
They're lapdogs.
They're saying that she's full of joy. So that has now become, you guys are going to hear it more now.
Oh my God.
And I was almost like listening to Tim Waltz last night going, okay, is this like part of their like campaign slogan now? First thing he says after he's introduced is, and look at her. Thank you. You are bringing back the joy. Then a couple minutes later talks about how all of her accomplishments, and he's going back, like he's trying to find stuff going way back from, her history, as a DA.
Good luck.
And,
good luck,
going back and trying to find the few accolades, which I don't think are accolades. I think that they're actually pathetic, what she has done in the past. But then saying, and look, and she's done it all with just so much joy. I even think that she was standing there going, what? Like, what are we doing with this joy word? So that's, I think, his way of saying, okay, we know she looks a little off. She laughs uncontrollably and she convulses uncontrollably and she bobs her head when she's talking, but that's because she's joyful. It's not because she's off. It's because she's joyful. So I think that that's going to be so funny, and we're going to hear a lot more of that word.
Well, the number one thing that Donald Trump has going for him, if anybody gets into the polling, it's in the swing states and it's on the economy. We're talking 30-point plus leads over Kamala Harris. And we all know what the number one issue is. It's our economy. because people know she's not smart enough to handle economy. And 2, she can't handle any foreign affairs. We know that. She just can't. Now, we know how she serviced people in the past, but that's not going to work at the worldwide stage. I mean, she can't service certain individuals in certain ways like that anymore and get what she needs. She just can't. It's over. So what she was good at, she can't do anymore. Trust me, Montel told us all about it. It's over, Cammie. We're sorry. There is nothing. So the media is doing everything they can. Lie, cheat, steal, the left liberal media, the deep state, the Soros funding. And we're going to call it out because we're about facts, truth, not feeling. And this is what's happening right now. And Trump would dominate her on a debate stage. And JD Vance, because he has policy, will dominate Tim Waltz if they ever step on a stage.
That would be actually a good one. I mean, I know that we're not supposed to put a whole lot of stake into the Veeps, and it's, kind of, boring and everything, but I would love to see those two go up there and go at each other. I think that we would see a side of JD Vance that we have not seen yet, because I can only imagine what it would be like to be on the other side of this loud mouth that stands for nothing but idiocracy.
Well,
so I think it would be really fun and great to watch something like that.
Well, the other thing, what I thought was funny from yesterday when those two were talking, think about this. Kamala Harris, who's been doing the Joe Biden, disappearing because she can't talk and she can't speak by herself. And now they've got Tim next to her, and Tim is much better. Tampon Tim is what everybody nationally calls him. Why do they call him Tampon Tim? Well, he's soft, number one, I guess, right? Right? I guess.
This could go a lot of ways. Keep going.
He's
Let's
soft. And then he is the man, and we said earlier, made it a law that you had to have tampons in the boys' bathrooms in schools in the state of Minnesota. So the boys that wanted to use them would feel comfortable. That's Tampon Tim.
I thought it was because he was a bloodsucker.
There you go.
Okay, there you go.
Ba-boom.
I wasn't going to go there, but thank you, Joe.
Yeah.
Somebody had to.
Okay, I'm glad you went
Leave
there.
it to these two.
So
They'll get it done.
You've got Kamala, you've got Tim together for the first time in deep, right? Philadelphia has always been deep blue Democrat, right? They show up. Look at this picture. Look at the second level.
Unbelievable.
Won't happen at a Donald Trump event. Standing room only, thousands of people outside.
Yeah.
They couldn't even fill the second level at the Harris-Waltz campaign event. Gosh. That is embarrassing.
That is embarrassing.
Shame on the Democrats. That's Philadelphia.
The floor looks pretty empty in front of the cameramen too.
No, it's once again, people, we are giving you the facts. We're showing you what local media won't. We'll show you what national media won't, because they're afraid, because they're sucked into the whole situation. Literally, there's like a solid 300 people there.
Yeah.
I agree. Nice job, Kamala. Nice job, Democrats.
Yeah, way to bring them in. So what do you think?
They couldn't even fill the second deck. How embarrassing. In Philadelphia.
Did you guys know that Vance is literally following the same campaign trail as Kamala Harris? So he's literally doing, going
and that upsets Democrats.
Big time. So, he's going to all the different battleground states, but literally following her exact trail and going in behind them, which could be looked at as a positive or as a negative. So I can't wait to see today how he's received, because, these Vance and Trump, I mean, they're bringing people in. I mean, every time they say nobody's going to show up for these guys, it's a blue state, or whatever the county is, and these guys show up and people are lined up for hours just to try to get in there, just to get a seat. And I know that there was a rally last week that there was like an upper level that in the auditorium or stadium, I guess it was, that Trump was in, and they were not allowing all of these people from outside to come in. So was it because they wanted to make it look empty? I mean, it's not like they do like a whole lot of panoramics, the media of the place, but he kept saying, like out loud. He was like, fire marshals, what are you doing? Why aren't you letting these people in? We have a whole tier, left, and there's thousands of people standing outside. So it was really odd how they did that, but it just so happened to be in a really blue county.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was super, super fishy.
The other thing is, I love the strategy. Follow around. I love it. What a terrific strategy. What a terrific strategy.
Yeah. Go in and
get bologna, then you
clean
get
up
steak.
you know what?
Serve the people bologna, then you get the steak. Serve people bologna and you get the steak.
Yep.
I love it.
Yeah.
Why not?
The pooper scoopers coming in right behind them. That's for sure.
Greg says, yeah, remember, Kamala is the one who has to have a concert with women twerking, nasty ass stuff too, to try to get some people to come into the speeches, and then they leave when she starts to speak.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, and the concert itself wasn't even good. I mean, that's just it. It's like, if you're going to get someone in there that's going to, keep your audience.
Well, what's wrong with Megan Thee Stallions?
Yeah. Twerking and,
whatever the hell
crude
else.
and rude and,
that's the Democrat Party. That's their way.
Singing about
it's
a
thug
vagina.
mentality.
Yeah.
It's nastiness.
Gross.
It's gross. It's street stuff. It's street mentality. It's Cori Bush stuff.
Yeah.
That's the Democrat Party.
That could have been Cori Bush up there for all we knew with the wig. I mean, acted like her, talked like her, all of it. So.
Michelle says, guys, that is hilarious. They had the capacity for seating and they still couldn't fill it.
Yeah.
In Philadelphia. But the Democrats won't say that. They'll go, look at all the energy.
Yeah.
There's nothing. They have nothing.
Look how joyful. Look how joyful everyone is.
They have the media to lie. That's all they have right now. The media to lie.
Yeah.
The media to lie.
Yeah.
And that's why I still think there's no way in hell Kamala gets on a debate stage with Donald Trump, because she knows she'll get her ass bait.
Golly, she will.
Bait down.
I mean, big time.
Especially with new debating Don.
Yeah. Well, I would just love to know, though. I want to know what they're telling her to do, like what the strategy is for her to go up. Well, they've got to be working on her. Look, they've already, she's already got her hands down a lot more. She actually had a fitted suit.
Hands down, knees
yesterday. You know it, on all fours, whatever you got to do. But you guys see what happens when I hang around you two bozos too long. Gosh.
I'm sorry. We're talking about a certain person.
Give me some soap.
I'm
Put
sorry.
it in my mouth. But anyway.
You did not just say that. Anyway.
But yeah, I see, now I lost my train of thought. Oh,
I think we have our first Megan drop.
Don't do it. Don't listen.
I'm sorry.
Rewind.
Forgive me. Please don't leave. I'm sorry. Forgive me.
But
I feel shame.
I will move on to being the professional in the room, the grown-up, mature one in the room. And that is that I would like to talk about the strategy for Kamala Harris to debate Donald Trump. What do you guys think? I mean, what could they be doing to this woman? Because I don't know. I don't know if there is anything that can help her, but man, I cannot wait for him to come in and mop the floor with her. Yeah, they did, Paul. They derailed me, but it's not official. Don't say it's official. It was just a moment. It was just a brain freeze. Don't be saying it's official on me. Me too. But yeah, so I think that he would absolutely destroy her, and I can't wait to see it. And I think that she will show up for it because she knows she already looks like a goofball, and she already looks like she can't be trusted. And so I don't think that she'll say no. I think that she will go forward with it, and I think it'll be awesome. It'll be great.
Well, that brings us to another point. Where the truck is Joe. This is what happened. I guarantee, the same way the Democrats, the cabal, the deep state is lying, cheating, stealing to try to keep Donald Trump out of the presidency. They're doing it to our country right now. We don't have a leader. We do not have a leader right now. And I wish we heard more or saw more from Republicans in Congress calling this out. And if they are, forgive me, but I don't see them right now. Do you? I'm concerned about what's happening behind closed doors right now, that we have no idea what's going on, especially when it comes to any serious investigation on Donald Trump, which I was going to talk about in a second.
Well, I mean, we might not have the leader that we think that we have, but we have the Jake Sullivans. We have, the John Kirbys. We have, Austin. We have all these people that have been making decisions for him. Do they let him know? Do they brief him on things? Of course they do. Does he realize what they just told him? Probably not. So they continue what they've been doing his entire presidency, and they make the decisions for him. And that's what we're going to continue to do. Is it sad that we have to say that we have a leader of a country that's not leading and probably hasn't been for most of his presidency? Yeah, it is sad. But we do have people, pulling the strings and making things happen. And whether they're doing it, for the, betterment of our country or not, that is yet to be seen because, like everybody's saying, like the world is on fire right now. And I think that we're going to have a whole lot more to talk about in the coming weeks with what is happening over in the Middle East, Ukraine.
Yeah. Speaking about the Middle East, now, how about allegedly another assassination attempt foiled against Donald Trump? And a Pakistani man alleged to have had ties to Iran has now been charged in that plot to carry out the assassination against Donald Trump on U.S. soil. Literally, prosecutors announced yesterday in Brooklyn. I'm not even going to say the guy's name to give him the credit. They accused him of traveling to New York to try to hire a hitman for the assassinations. The plot was disrupted before it could be carried out. Many Republicans, not just Donald Trump, but many Republicans. The documents did not identify any of the potential targets specifically, but the case was unsealed just weeks after U.S. officials disclosed that a threat on Donald Trump's life from Iran prompted the additional security in the days before a Pennsylvania rally last month. Okay. I mean, if you don't think this stuff is getting more real and unlike anything we have ever seen before, think again.
Yeah.
It's coming. It's happening. It's there every day. Our country is under attack. We are under siege. Certainly Donald Trump is, and certainly our conservatives who are willing to stand up and preach about this stuff. And if you want to bring the Middle East aspect into this and say, oh, we're pro-Palestinian and, it's not our fault and Iran is good and they only want peace, show us the facts because all we see are other things going on right now.
Trump needs a Pope mobile.
Yeah, he sure does. But you know what? He would never do that. He wouldn't because he wants to shake hands. He wants to hug people. He wants to be a man for the people.
But he's not doing the outdoor rallies anymore.
Well, yeah, and he shouldn't. And,
but then why?
Why isn't he doing that?
Yeah, no, why shouldn't he then? If he's a man of the people, he is having to change and adjust how he's doing things though, right?
Well, yeah, but just like on a day-to-day transportation, just from him going from A to B, I don't know that he should have to be in a clear bulletproof, transport. I don't think that just for like, if he were to go and do, let's say like a parade or go to one of these small communities in the Bronx or something like that, for him to stand inside of a clear, refrigerator shaped, container and wave to people. I mean, I just don't know that he would do that. Would I like for him to do that? Heck yeah. I don't want anything to happen to him. We absolutely need him back in our country and take over and right this ship.
And he's talking about doing outdoor rallies again.
Yeah, well,
I
he
hope
wants
so.
to.
I would love it.
Well, the FBI does not want him to for obvious reasons.
Yeah,
and neither does his family for obvious reasons. But, he wants to get out there. He loves it. I don't know, like if his, if he is, I would think that he would be a lot more scared now, to go out into public places. But, he loves it. He loves to go out and talk to everybody and meet new people and show them like, hey, I'm for you. Like, I am not against you. I'm for the Black community. I'm for the Latino communities. I'm for, the impoverished white communities as well. And I'm for everybody. I'm for the middle class. I'm for people that work hard. I'm for the Elon Musks. Like I'm for everyone. And so I think that would definitely hinder, his opportunity to do those things.
Donald Trump news. This should be pretty interesting. And I guarantee it's going to get lots of views. Okay. We talked about Aiden Ross, the #1 live streamer in America, maybe the world. Is he the world too? #1 live streamer in the world?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
he had Donald Trump on the other day. It was huge. Obviously, gave him the Cybertruck with the Donald Trump rap with his fist in the air, fight after he was shot. That episode, that live stream, 100 million views in 2 days. That's legitimate stuff. The media won't tell you that. The same media that's trying to promote Kamala Harris, they won't tell you that. They won't show you that. Local, national, paper, print, digital, they won't show it to you because they're in on everything. They hate Donald Trump, that they're not going to show you truth and actually what's happening in life. Oh my God, if we show that, maybe other young people will go, oh my God, we need to look at Donald Trump. They're doing it on purpose. That is huge. No politician in the history of America has had this much hype, this much backing than Donald Trump. But the media is going to try to tell you that, oh, this Kamala, this most unpopular vice president ever, is now the greatest thing.
Yeah.
These are facts. We separate ourselves from other people by giving you facts. 100 freaking million views. Okay.
Yeah.
Monday night, Donald Trump is doing an interview with Elon Musk. To me, that's can't miss.
Oh, for sure.
Can't wait. Trump put it out there, said, or this was actually Trump put it out there, quote, on Monday night, I'll be doing a major interview with Elon Musk. Details to follow. He put that on his platform last night. Musk has not commented about it yet, but I would love to see that. Trump was banned from Twitter back in 2021.
Before Elon got into it.
Now his X account was reinstated, if you remember that. So I don't know. I
was after Trump already started Truth Social. Though.
I love this. And what would you want to know? What would they be talking about?
So you put two, I think, of the most brilliant business minds together, and they're different. They have built their businesses and their empires in completely different ways. But to put those two together, I think, to hear them, and the great thing about the both of them is they're not trying to bow down to anyone. They're not, can they continue to make money doing what they do? Yes, but they're able to do it on their terms. Elon Musk, did he really, really, truly want to come in and pay what he paid for the Twitter platform because, he just needed something else, another business to worry about? No, he wanted it because he truly believes in free speech. He saw what was happening and he was willing to spend that much money and willing to put himself out there. I mean, he was ridiculed up, left, down, all around. And so I think that Trump does a lot of things in the same manner. He doesn't care what people say. He doesn't care if you agree with him, but he's going to do things because it's the right thing to do. And he puts his butt on the line.
Mitch says they're not that different. Interesting.
What, the business? Businesses?
Just as they are as people, maybe.
Oh yeah. Well, and that's just it. Yeah. So, and that's just it. They're both brilliant. And they both, they're willing to put themselves out there to make change, to create change. And man, they take a whole lot of heat for it.
Elon, like Ross Perot, according to Robert, built his businesses on government contracts and subsidies. He made it work.
Yeah. Yeah, that's for sure.
And Robert hates Elon Musk, just so that everybody knows.
Yeah. Well, and the thing too is, another point, Elon Musk, he was not born here, so he immigrated here, and he also realizes that there needs to be a process for people to come into this country. And he's very outspoken about that. And there's a lot of people that have come here and have been able to live here and to flourish and create amazing lives that had to go through the process and do things the right way. So I think that they really do have a lot more in common. I think that they believe a lot of the same things. But they're also willing to disagree, which I think is awesome. And neither one of them have an issue doing that publicly either, which I think it just makes them look that more authentic and genuine when they're able to have these discussions. And for Trump to go, hey man, I don't care if this is your baby, these electric cars are your babies. It'd be the stupidest thing in the world to have them across the board.
I think it'll be interesting too. Trump doing this interview with another who's probably one of the most popular African Americans in the world, according
Yeah.
to Glenn.
Yeah, that's
So-
true. That is very true.
And I have no idea where the interview is going to be, but I can take a guess. X. It'd be live on X, right?
Mhm. I would
The
think
interview
so.
has to be live on X.
Mhm.
That's where I think, because somebody asked us, where's the interview going to be? I would have to assume it would be on X.
Yeah. And probably at Mar-a-Lago, wouldn't you think? Or
Yeah, it'd be
I mean,
nice.
Elon could be hosting too. I'd love to see his pad. You know, wouldn't that be cool?
Well, I
Maybe
mean,
give us a
Elon's
tour.
done. Well, Elon did. Yeah, I don't know. I guess which one? He's got several.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah, so that'll be fun. That'll be great to watch. And I just, like I keep saying, I just hope that the more that Trump gets out, and then after this DNC, I think that we're going to start hearing more from both sides. And I just hope that Trump can behave and
I know you're talking about that again.
I know.
Behaving.
He needs to, guys. I'm telling you, he does. It's not, the name calling's not gonna do well for him. And he doesn't need to. He's so much bigger and better than that. All he needs to do is walk into a room. His presence is enough, in itself. He doesn't need to do anything else.
I agree.
Just seeing the support and watching, what people do when he's around is just amazing in itself.
Hopefully this continue to produce the content, doing all these massive interviews that he's doing right now, getting to as many people as possible, because you're not going to get it fair when it comes to the world media,
Mhm.
when it comes to national media, when it comes to local media. They're not going to help you.
Mhm.
I worked in these places. They don't like Donald Trump. They don't. The
No.
people who are in those buildings do not like policies that Donald Trump stands for. They don't.
Mhm.
Why do people that you watch and see, and they don't.
Yeah.
They don't like Donald Trump. There were a handful of us throughout my 25 years in the business. So be careful what you see and what you look. Go out, find the information yourself. I agree with what Donald Trump's doing. I love his campaign team, and I think they're handling it beautifully. I just don't think conservatives are going to get caught up in all the BS that the media is trying to do right now with Kamala and Timmy Tampon,
Mhm.
who is arguably the biggest coward in politics in 2024.
Can you believe that's where we're at right now?
Yeah.
That we are legit have identified a VP runner as Tampon Tim. I just cannot even
Tampon Timmy.
Yeah, Tampon Timmy. I'm sorry. Sorry, Timmy.
Tampon Timmy.
I will get it right next time. But I mean, just so
Yes.
that's where we're at in this world. It's so just degrading and low and gross. And can I say something about speaking about things being unfair?
Of course.
Joe, why are you looking at me like that?
I was just waiting to say something.
Was it going to be crude?
No.
Were you going to try to derail me again?
But it probably would have, yes.
Okay, just wait.
What did you
Go
got,
ahead.
Nate? So
Speaking about unfair, I think today is the day that both of the male boxers boxing as females in the Olympics go up against each other. So if you guys want to see something good, they both have made it through and they will be boxing against each other. So two males boxing against each other.
but are we
as
calling
females.
Okay, here we go. Are we
Mhm.
calling them males though?
I do. I'm just saying what
What
it is.
were they born? I'm still trying to learn. I don't know what they are. Joe was explaining this to me. And if Joe wants to jump in on it, I would love to see you as you explain it, because I don't know what they are anymore.
okay.
At first, I called them males,
Yeah. Well, what they're trying to do is they're trying to say,
but they weren't
the
born
Olympic,
with penises.
nobody knows. The Olympic Committee is saying that all they require is for an identification, okay, and their word. Okay, I'm telling you. So, the other committee that tested them before, they required more, and that's why they said no, you're out, you can't do it. So then the Olympic Committee says, oh, okay, your passport says that you're female. This is what they're saying, legit, that on their identification, it says that they're female. That's it. That's all they're going to require. However, Moving forward after these 2024 games, they are open to looking into furthering the proof of gender moving
So
forward.
they still could be men.
Absolutely.
So, but the thing is, what if they're born with both genitalia?
Right.
What does that make them?
Well, we've talked about this.
Have you ever met somebody born with both genitalia?
They're usually pretty masculine. They're usually. I've never.
I cannot believe we're going here.
Yeah.
Born with both.
Well, they say Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yes, exactly.
Was born with
hermaphrodite.
Both. Yes.
I remember hearing.
And
that.
I told you, like, there's a lot of children in India that are born intersex. And I'm not sure why it is more common there, but the parents, they end up having to pick which way they're going to raise their children. But you have to remember that it's usually, there can be internal issues as well with the reproductive organs, but usually those are
Can
girls
you birth
that
a
have
human or
issues.
not? That would be.
Yeah.
Mandy says that from the chat line. Ginny says, I'm not relearning shit. It's male or female. That's
exactly.
it.
So XY, you're a male. You can't have babies because you're a boy, and boys don't have babies. So if you're a boy and you have issues on the outside of your body, a mutation or something, okay, does that happen? Absolutely. Indeed, it does. And that's, it really is. It's very sad. But
see, now you're going to have people upset because you said if you can't have babies, you're not a woman.
No, if you're a boy, you can't have babies.
Right.
Yeah. Be mad.
Okay.
So technically, the Olympics are not calling them women. They're just saying they say they are. So we believe they are.
That's right.
They have not done any sort of specific testing.
Correct.
Now, the International Boxing Committee did.
Correct.
And they said that their testosterone levels were higher than many of the men. So they did not allow them to compete as women, where they would have a distinct advantage.
Then you're going to have people that go, oh, well, they were just, juicing. They were just, trying to get their testosterone up so that they could fight better. Okay, well, whatever it is, then disqualify them for that in itself.
I thought the Olympic Committee got verifiable scientific evidence that proved that they were born as females.
No, but moving forward, like I said, they're going to consider, making it more of a fair and equal playing ground.
Oh my God.
Moving forward.
Personally, I think there just should be a special division for people in this because they have the Special
There's
Olympics,
not enough people.
I'm not trying to compare.
There's not enough people.
Well, then I'm sorry. I mean, there's the Special Olympics.
Unfortunately, there's enough. There's enough people competing there.
Well, you would think, especially with what we've seen recently, there's probably enough people to start an Olympics these days.
Well, or it might not be the Olympics. It might be a different kind of games. But what's fair is fair.
Stuff for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it just makes no sense, especially boxing. I mean, for crying out loud, it's like, you say that you were born this way and you were raised this way, and maybe that is the choice that your family made for you, and that's great and that's wonderful, and I truly hope that these people had a great life. But it doesn't mean that then, because this is your issue, that you have to make it unfair for someone else that doesn't have an issue.
Right.
Why don't they matter? Why is it just these people, these poor people that, are discriminated against and victimized and, all these things? Like, why is it not fair for the other person? It just, to me, it's very, very simple. It's just simple. It's right and wrong, and it's not fair.
Bendy brings up an interesting point too, coming in towards the end of this podcast show. Why is the liberal world seem like they're always obsessed with sex?
They are.
Something sex with kids, or kids having their own sexual identity, and sex this and sex that. And you work in this industry. Why would, more so than most of us do, you notice this as well?
I'm still trying to figure it out. What
and
were you
most of
say?
them deny it. Like, oh, it's not about sex. Well,
no, it's about freedom.
Right. They try and switch it around and be like, oh, you're the one thinking about sex. It's about being a person. This and
no, they keep, and we're going to hear that too. And Waltz is on that now too, about freedom in the doctor's office, freedom this, freedom that. And so, they have misconstrued what freedom is against, with Again, I mean, it's right and wrong. There's no other ways to say it. Why they hypersexualize not just children, but people, I still cannot figure out. I don't understand why, um, they choose to make someone's identity about what sex they are. I mean, I don't walk up to anyone, never have, wouldn't ever even dream of it and go up and go, "Hello, it's nice to meet you. I'm Megan and I'm straight and I like men." I mean, I would never in a million years. So why is everything, about who you are and how you identify have to do with either sexual orientation
Or should be anybody's business.
or gender? It's like,
Why are you
who
doing this to
cares?
us?
Just live and be who you are and show us who you are. I don't care who you want to sleep with, and I don't care what's in your pants.
It's just another way for the deep state to divide us. That's exactly what's happening.
And to gain control.
Donna says, by the way, thank you, Megan, for what you do for children. You do a thankless job when it comes, I mean, not thankless for you
Yeah.
and for them, but you don't get anything for what you do trying to help kids who've been trafficked or being put in bad homes and
Mhm.
having them. I mean, you don't have to go into some of the worst parts of St. Louis City, but you do. And of course, we want to focus on that and promote what you do because you don't. We do. We want to promote you for what you do. So, Donna,
Gosh,
thank you for
so
saying
much.
what she does because I know that's near and dear to your heart.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. And I cannot tell you how much I get out of it and how amazing it is. Unfortunately, you do have to see and hear and witness things that you wish that you would never have to. But at the end of the day, it's so gratifying. And just knowing that that you're helping, it might be a long process, but you're helping someone heal and get better and to be safe. So that's for sure. So thank you for that.
This is canceltheshow.com. Appreciate everybody jumping in on the show. I think then we cover most of everything.
I think so.
I mean,
Everything. Yeah.
it goes by so fast. Once again, tomorrow we're going to start at 9:00. We'll come in. We're going to be rocking and rolling as fast as, we're going to pump through. It's going to be a great show. Once again, we're grateful for all the supporters. We love you guys. And thank you for making the show as popular as it is. And we're just going to continue to move on as fast and good. And we're looking for this to even go bigger and larger. And we were told that we needed to do this. We were told so that more people around the country and even the world can jump in and add to the numbers about what we're doing. So
Yes.
thank you so much, guys. Happy hump day. That does it for the fastest hours in podcasting. For Projo and Megan Marie Moret, I'm Vic Faust. Love it. Have a great day. Keep the faith and try to make a difference. Talk to you tomorrow.